Hi, my name is Sarah and welcome to Movement Yoga. Today's video is another bite-sized yoga class. It's going to be a gentle yoga flow, which is great for beginners. We're going to be focused on moving slow and gently through our postures while we also spend a little bit of time and working and connecting to our breath. If you have a yoga block, I would recommend grabbing it because you may need it, but if you don't, it's also okay. You can find a substitute or just try the poses without. And if you like this style of video, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below and to like this video because it's a free and simple way to support not only me, but free online yoga videos. So I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you want, I will leave my social medias and you can find me in the other places on the internet. Anyways, if you're ready, get yourself set up in your place on your mat and we will begin. So when you're ready, just arrive on your mat in a seated position, so with your legs crossed. So just find the variation that works for you, whatever is comfortable. If you find that you have a bit of discomfort in the hip area, maybe you can sit onto a cushion or a block, whatever works for you. Just a place that you can fully arrive at and that you can begin to spend a couple of moments just tuning into the breath and into your body. I always encourage this at the start of every class because it just helps us get clear on what we want and that we are opening ourselves up to this time and this space now to focus inward. So when you're ready, just begin to close your eyes. Allow yourself to feel long through the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders down and back. And just begin to notice your breath as it comes in and out through the nose. So at this point in time, we're just noticing the natural breath. So there's no need to try and control the rhythm or the quality. But just see if you can begin to just begin to pay attention to the nature of the breath, the sensations of the breath as it comes in and out through the nose. And as you continue to notice your breath, if you feel called to do so, this is a great time now to set an intention for your class. And not only is it great to set an intention for the class, intention can also be something that you want to translate throughout the rest of your day. So for me, I feel quite called to set the intention of presence. To see if as I move throughout my practice and throughout the rest of my day that I can be mindful and see and approach things from an open and loving place. If you feel also connected to that intention, feel free to set it for yourself. If not, just find whatever feels right for you. And as you really think about that, begin to feel it within your heart space. So as you breathe, feeling the expansion of your belly and your chest, and just slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Then with your intention in mind, take a nice long deep inhale through your nose. And then as you exhale, open your mouth to release. Slowly begin to open your eyes. So So before we move, I'm going to introduce a little breathing technique, or a pranayama technique, which we refer to in Sanskrit. The breathing technique is called Nahi Shodhana. So that is the Sanskrit name for this breath technique, or also referred to as alternate nostril breathing. So the way that this breath work works, it encourages us to breathe in through one nostril and then out through the other, and then in through that nostril and then out through the other. So it's a great way to help us balance out masculine and feminine energy, and just bring about a bit more grounding and centeredness if you feel that you're experiencing any sort of instability or anxiety or turbulent emotions. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when we learn to harness our breath and we work with our breath, we can encourage our nervous system to settle down. And by doing this, this helps our body to recognize and calibrate to a state of healing. So that is the goal in mind. So when you're ready, I will just explain how the placement of the fingers work while we do the breath work. So I'll guide you through it all, and when we breathe in, we'll just do a simple count for a count of 3, and then we'll breathe out for a count of 3, and we'll do this circular type of breathing. So to begin, I want you to get your index finger and your middle finger and place it onto your third eye. So use this as a mark to help support you. Sometimes I also like to bring my opposite arm onto my elbow, so I'm also supporting this arm that's placing the fingers on the head. Then from here, we're going to be using the thumb and the pinky finger to close off each of our nostrils. So while you're here, we're going to begin first by inhaling through the left nostril. So to do this, I want you to close off the right nostril with your big thumb, And then when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale for a count of 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to close off your left nostril with your pinky finger, release your thumb, and then exhale for a count of 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale through the same nostril for a count of 3, 2, 1. Close off with the thumb, open the pinky, and exhale for a count of 3, 2, 1. Inhale left, 3, 2, 1. Close off, open right, exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Exhale left, 3, 2, 1. One more round. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Close, open left. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Just remove your hands, and then just take a nice long inhale through the nose, noticing the difference, and then open your mouth and exhale to release. Hopefully you can feel a little bit more open through both sides of the nose and a little bit more clearer and grounded. So now from here we're going to begin to move. So when you're ready, I want you to take an inhale. In your seated position, begin to open your arms out nice and wide as if you've got wings, and begin to puff your heart up towards the ceiling. Maybe take your eye gaze slightly up, and then as you exhale, you're going to round in, you're going to hug yourself, and you're going to draw your chin towards your chest. Inhale, open your arms, open your heart, and then as you exhale, round in. This time cross the opposite arm on top. Draw your chin towards your chest, find a rounding of your spine. Inhale, open the arms. Opposite arm crosses over as you exhale, chin to chest. Once more, inhale, really broadening out through the chest as you take your eye gaze up. And then exhale, round in, chin to chest. Slowly release your arms, and then just come back to a neutral position. Then from here, bring your right hand down next to you. Take an inhale, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. I want you to Create length through this fingertip, so really reach up, and then as you exhale, begin to lean towards the right side. I want you to focus on rotating your bottom ribs up, so find this rotation, and maybe you can take your eye gaze up if that feels okay on your neck, otherwise you can just keep it forward. Feel the stretch through the left side, and make sure that your left sit bone grounds down into the earth as you reach through your left fingers. And then if it's available to you, or you want to take it a little deeper, maybe you come down onto your right forearm. The option is completely up to you. You just take the variation that works in your body for you in this moment. Taking a nice long inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale, sweep all the way up. Bring both of your hands up towards the ceiling. Bring the fingertips to touch, and then as you exhale, you're going to begin to rotate. Your left hand is going to come behind you, and your right hand is going to come to the outer part of your left knee. You're going to begin to rotate. I want you to really draw up through the crown of your head, feel nice and long, and then maybe take your eye gaze towards your left shoulder. Once again, you just really want to feel into the body, feel your edge, and just recognize where you can take it, where you can begin to feel sensation, but it's still relatively comfortable to breathe. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, sweep your arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to begin to lean forward, and you're just going to come into a seated fold. So I want you to focus on drawing your sit bones down, so keep them rooted. And I want you to come onto the fingertips. So squeeze the thumb towards the fingers, draw your heart forward. So you're almost like puffing your chest forward and tilting your sit bones back. And then if you feel comfortable, just slowly begin to drop your head, and just once again come to the range that works for you. Find nice, steady, even breaths. Then slowly walk your hands back, come up. Just bring your hands behind you, and then just change the cross of your legs. So just bringing the awkward leg in front. Once again, you can choose the variation of your cross-legged position that works for you. You might be here, or like I do, I like to cross at the ankles, just whatever works and feels comfortable. So then from here, we move on to the other side. So bring the left hand down, take an inhale, reach through the fingertips, really stretch up, and then as you exhale, begin to lean. Once again, making sure that you're grounded down through the right sit bone, reaching out through the right fingertips, and feeling this stretch through the side body. You might notice that one side feels better than the other. That's completely normal. This is why we do the poses on either side. And if you came down onto your forearm on the other side, you can do so here. Once again, just feeling it out, listening to your body, giving it your awareness and your breath. Then when you're ready, inhale, reach up, bring your fingertips up towards the ceiling, allow them to touch, and then as you exhale, right hand comes behind, left hand comes onto the outer right knee, and find your twist. Draw up through the crown of your head, maybe take your eye gaze towards your right shoulder. Slowly inhale, draw your arms back towards the center, reach up, and then as you exhale, we begin to hinge forward. Fingertips come down, and allow yourself just to drop. So, dropping the head, just finding a gentle fold in our seated position. And if you're up here, if you find that you're quite high, if you find that you're rounding, that's okay. Wherever you are, once again, we're focusing a little bit less on how the pose actually looks and just a bit more about how it feels. So you really just want to find and feel a lengthening through the spine. On your last inhale, begin to rise, sweep your arms up, and then as you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart in a prayer position. Then from here, I want you to take your legs out wide, and we're going to come into our saddle pose. So depending on how you feel in your hamstrings, I today am especially tight in my right side. So this shape for you, you might have your knees quite bent. You might not have them open as me. Once again, completely fine. It's just about honoring where your body is in this moment. So I want you to just begin nice and tall through the spine. See if you can draw up through the crown of your head. I want you to root your heels down into the earth, and then just take a couple of moments and we're going to flex the feet and then point the toes. Flex the feet, 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 point the toes. Then I want you to completely relax and soften your legs. And just like we did when we were in our seated position, we're just going to begin to walk the hands forward. So once again, you just find what works for you, find the depth that works for you. We're just going to spend a couple of moments here, a couple of breaths here, and I want you to see if you can focus on really deepening the breath. So just allowing yourself to breathe in and out through the nose and just encouraging nice long breaths. And take one last inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly begin to walk your hands back. Then from here, nice and slow, just bring your hands onto the back of your knees, draw your legs in, maybe give them a little bit of a shake if you need it, and then we're going to make our way into our tabletop position. So coming onto your hands and your knees, I want you to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then I want you to bring your knees underneath your hips. I want you to tuck your toes, and I want you to ground down through your big toe. I want to make sure that your fingers are spread nice and wide, and then I want you to push into the mat with your fingertips. So here, imagine that you've got roots that are grounding down not only to the surface of the ground, but deep beneath the floor. So you've really got this nice deep connection with the earth. As you continue to grip into the mat, I want you to then draw your navel just into a neutral position, so slightly up towards the spine, but you've got a nice straight line from the shoulders towards your hips. Then I want you to see if you can extend energy out through the crown of your head and also out through your tailbone. So energy moving forward and energy moving back. So we're not really doing too much here in this shape, but we're focusing energetically on the direction we want to move in. And by doing that, you'll create very subtle and simple activations throughout the body. Then from here, I want you to take an inhale. You're going to begin to sink your belly, tilt your sit bones back, and you're going to shine your heart forward. I want you to pull your hands towards your knees, and it's almost like you're pulling your heart past and through your arms. So we come into our cat position. And then as you exhale, I want you to draw your navel in towards your spine, begin to round, and you're going to push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, push down into your hands, and then draw your chin towards your chest. Take an inhale, sink the belly, tilt the sit bones, shine your heart as you pull your hands towards you. Take an exhale, push down into the hands, round through the spine, nice and slow as you push the back of the heart up towards the ceiling, dropping the chin towards the chest. We'll take one more in each round. Inhale, sink the belly, shine the heart. Exhale, round, drawing the navel in, pushing the ground, pushing the heart up, drawing the chin towards the chest. Then when you're ready, slowly come back into your neutral tabletop position. Then extend your right leg out behind you. So just make sure that you're grounding down nice and evenly through your hands. And then nice and slow, you're going to begin to lift your right heel up. Keep drawing your lower ribs in so you can create a nice straight line, and make sure your back foot is flexed. Really reach out through the heel. Then from here, take an inhale, reach out longer, and then as you exhale, you're going to bend your knee and you're going to draw your knee towards your elbow as best you can. Inhale, extend your leg out, And then as you exhale, you're going to cross your foot over towards the left side of your mat, touch the toes onto the floor, and then you're going to take your eye gaze towards that foot. So you feel now an opening through the right side body and a cinching through the left side body. Then as you inhale, draw your leg back up, shoot it behind you. We'll move through that little sequence twice more. Exhale, draw your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, take your foot behind you. Exhale, cross your foot towards the left side. Take your eye gaze over towards the foot. Inhale, draw the leg behind you. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. Inhale, draw the leg behind you. Exhale, cross the foot over towards the left. Take your eye gaze over to the foot. Inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, drop your knee, come back into your tabletop position. Then we move to the other side. Inhale, draw the left leg out. Just keeping the toes first on the floor. Draw your lower ribs in as you draw your navel in towards your spine. Then inhale, draw your heel up. Make sure your foot is flexed. Take an inhale, reach further out through the heel. And then as you exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, take the leg back. Exhale, drop the toes over towards the right side. Take your eye gaze over towards that foot. So feel the cinching through the right side and a stretch through the left side body. Inhale, draw the leg behind you. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, draw it back behind you. Exhale, drop the feet over towards the right side. Inhale, draw the foot behind you. Exhale, draw the knee towards the elbow. Inhale, draw the foot behind you. Exhale, draw the foot over towards the right side. Last inhale, shoot the leg behind you. Exhale, come back into your tabletop position. Then from here, just untuck your toes, draw your sit bones towards your heels, and then just walk your arms forward. We come into a child's pose. So allow the crown of your head and your third eye to come towards the mat. And just drop all of your weight. Just take a nice long inhale through the nose. Then open your mouth and sigh to release. Really feeling expansion through the back body. And just dropping weight, similar to if you came home with a few heavy bags of groceries and you just need to drop it onto the floor. So that same feeling of releasing that weight, I want you to feel that through your body as you exhale. Allowing yourself to feel heavier and to sink deeper into the mat. Then on your next breath, take an inhale. We're going to come back into our tabletop position. And I'm going to set you up for our first downward facing dog. So if this is a new posture to you, I'm going to break it down as best I can. Stay as long as you can, finding your breaths and just seeing if you can bring your awareness to the alignment of your body. So we want to start with our hands about shoulder width apart, once again with our fingers spread nice and wide, pushing down into the earth, imagining those roots going through the earth and down into the earth through the fingertips. Then you're going to tuck your toes. From here, you're going to take an inhale. You're going to begin to lift the knees and lead up with your hips. You're going to slowly draw your chest through your arms towards your thighs. So I want you to imagine your downward dog looks like an inverted V. So this is the shape that we're going for. While you're here, you might feel that the back of your legs are really tight. So keep your knees bent. There is no need to work to 100% when we're still warming up our body. So bend into your knees nice and generously, and if this means that your heels are lifted, that's okay. You want to make sure you're still grounding through your hands, that your feet are about hip width apart, and that you're leading up towards the ceiling with your tailbone. Then I want you to come onto the ball of your feet, take an inhale. Then as you exhale, bend your knees really generously, and this should allow you to draw your chest towards your thighs. I want you to keep pushing down into the earth, so keep pushing your chest through your arms so that your head comes either side of your arms. And then as you exhale,
Slowly begin to sink your heels towards the earth and maybe straighten more through the legs. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Open your mouth to sigh. So feeling the strength through the body. Then from here, nice and slow, we're just going to take a couple of steps towards the top of our mat. We're going to come into our forward fold position. So once again, your feet are about hip width apart. If you need to measure, just bring 2 fists inside of your feet and that'll help you. This is where if you want to block or you have a block, you can use it. And we're just going to come into a forward fold. So I want you to make sure that your hips are in line with your heels. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have your legs straight. You can have your knees bent, this is okay. Once again, we're focusing on lengthening through the back of the legs, and this can take time, even for a well-practiced yogi. A lot of the times you're not warmed up when you first start your practice. So give yourself time to open up, and if you need to, bend into the knees. So while you're bent through the knees, I want you to bring your hands either onto the floor or onto your block and drop the crown of your head towards the earth. I want you to see if you can lean further in towards the toes. So make sure that your weight is evenly distributed throughout your feet, but just see if you can just lean slightly into the toes so you feel the toes activating into the earth. Then similar to the analogy of dropping our bags, I want you to see if you can drop your weight by taking a nice long inhale through the nose and then exhale to release. Seeing if you can encourage the muscles to soften a little bit. So that might be softening through the neck or the jaw, maybe through the forehead. Because we're going to just stay here for a few deep breaths. And if you notice any sort of intensity or any disturbance through the mind, just remember that we're not here forever. This moment is transient, like all moments. So in knowing that, how present can you be with what it is that you feel? Just as a challenge to yourself. How can I fully witness what it is that I feel? From a place of openness and lovingness and compassion. Then when you're ready, you either bring your hands onto the floor or onto your block, take an inhale. I want you to straighten your spine out. So we come into our flat back. So you can begin to straighten your legs. I want you to draw your tailbone back and I want you to reach out through the crown of your head. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. So once again, feel a lengthening of energy going forward through the crown of the head, but also back through the tailbone. And then as you exhale, we come back into our forward fold, dropping the crown of the head just for a moment. If you need to, you remove your block, and then as you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up, begin to rise. Take your arms up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, bring your hands into a prayer position, lower them towards your heart. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh to release. So from here, we're going to just move through a little flow. If you have your block, make sure it's close to you. Once again, we're going to take it at a slow pace, focusing on the breath. And we're here and in it together. So when you're ready with your hands in front of your heart, take an inhale. Begin to sweep your arms up. Take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling as you draw your navel in towards your spine. Then as you exhale, try and keep a flat back as you hinge forward, folding all the way down back into your forward fold. Draw the crown of your head down and just feel the length through the hips as they reach up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, bring your hands onto your shins. Begin to draw your heart forward. So as much as you pull your tailbone back, you're arcing your heart forward, taking your eye gaze forward. Then as you exhale, you're going to bring your fingertips down. Once again, grabbing onto your block if you need it. I want you to begin to draw your navel in towards your spine, and you're going to pick your right foot up. See if you can just hover the foot off of the floor. Flex through the toes, so really engage your toes, and then as you inhale, begin to straighten your leg behind you. Just, if you can see your toes, make sure that all 5 toes are pointing down towards the mat. Then nice and slow, you're going to begin to bend into your left knee, and you're going to drop your right toes as far back to the back of the mat as you can, but with control. See if you can slow the movement down. Drop your right knee down, and then untuck your back toes. Take an inhale, rise. Draw your navel in towards your spine, and then begin to puff your heart up towards the ceiling. We come into our first low lunge. Draw your fingertips up towards the ceiling, but at the same time, draw your shoulder blades down and onto your back. Then on your next breath, bring your right hand to the outer part of your left knee, and then slowly begin to take your left arm towards the back of your mat. So we come into this revolved low lunge. Maybe take your eye gaze towards your left thumb. I want you to imagine magnetizing your feet towards each other. So you'll feel this activation of the inner thighs, and that energy should draw up towards your pelvis. Then as you inhale, come back through center, sweep your arms up, take your eye gaze up, find your low lunge. Then as you exhale, bring your fingertips down, tuck your back toes, pick up your back knee. Make sure that your chest is connected to your front thigh. From here, squeeze your feet towards each other, so feel this activation through the legs. And then as you inhale, begin to rise. Keep a little micro bend in your back knee, and we come up into our high lunge now. Take your eye gaze up. Keep grounding down through the big toe of the right foot and the sole of the left foot, drawing the shoulder blades down and back. If you feel a little compression in your lower back, keep bending the right knee, the back leg. Then from here, take an inhale. You're going to pivot your back foot so it comes parallel to the short edge. And we're going to come into our warrior 2 pose. Ground down through your feet, and you should make sure that you've got a heel to arch alignment and this foot is parallel to your short edge. Reach your arms out and maybe take your eye gaze over your middle finger. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh to release. Then slowly bring your hands to the top of your mat. Pick up your back heel. So we come into this runner's lunge with your fingertips down. Then step your back foot towards the top of the mat and come back into your forward fold. Allow yourself to drop. Keep a little micro bend in the knees. And once again, just encourage yourself to drop any weight. If you find it a little bit challenging, just use your breath. The deeper, the fuller, sometimes even the louder, the better. Over time, we develop these certain sort of ideas and thoughts and patterns throughout our mind and our body. And it can be really challenging to let go of things that we've held on to for so long. But our yoga practice encourages us to open up in ways that we maybe haven't before, in a safe and a controlled way. Then when you're ready, take an inhale, begin to bend into your knees, slowly rise, draw your arms up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Draw up through the crown of your head. Then take an inhale, sweep your arms up, eye gaze goes up, and then as you exhale, keeping your hips forward, you're going to begin to open your arms. So draw your right hand behind you, left arm forward. Keep drawing the hips forward towards the top of the mat, and maybe take your eye gaze towards the right thumb. Inhale, draw your arms up, back up to center, eye gaze goes up, then exhale, rotate to the other side. Keeping that focus on drawing the hips forward. Maybe take your eye gaze towards your left thumb, maybe not. Just wherever you are is okay. Inhale, sweep your arms up, take your eye gaze up. As you exhale, hinge at your hips and come into your forward fold. Fingertips come down, crown of the head comes down. Then take an inhale, bring your hands onto your shins, draw your tailbone back and reach out through the crown of your head. Once again, creating these two energies, moving forward and moving back. As you exhale, you either bring your hands onto your block or the floor, And I want you to ground down through the right foot and just lift the left foot up as you hover it next to the right. Then nice and slow, take an inhale, reach the leg behind you, and make sure that all of your toes are pointing down towards the mat. So here we come into our standing splits. This is what this pose is called. Then nice and slow, bend into your right knee. Slowly find the back of your mat with your left toes, and then drop your left knee down. You want to make sure that your front knee is in line with your front heel, and that you untuck your back toes. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up. We come into our low lunge. Take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling. Once again, if you feel compression through your lower back, really draw up. Squeeze your feet towards each other to feel the activation of the inner thigh. And then as you exhale, left hand comes onto the outer part of the right knee, and right arm goes behind you. Once again, maybe taking your eye gaze towards your thumb. Finding a few nice, steady, even breaths. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Come up into your low lunge, take your eye gaze up. And then as you exhale, bring your fingertips to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, pick up your back knee. Connect your chest towards your right thigh. Ground down through your feet, and then as you inhale, begin to rise. Find your high lunge, reach your arms overhead. Once again, keep a micro bend or a big bend in the back knee. Keep pushing into the earth, feel the energy of your legs, maybe take your eye gaze up. Then nice and slow, pivot your back foot so that your foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. You have a heel to arch alignment through both of your feet, and then begin to open your hips out to the long edge of your mat, coming into your warrior two. Sink down into your front knee. Your knee is in line with your heel, and you're reaching your fingertips forward and back. Eye gaze goes over the middle finger of the right hand. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Then frame your front foot with your hands. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Come into your runner's lunge, and then step your your back foot to meet your front foot into your forward fold. Drop the crown of your head and come into your forward fold once again. When you arrive, just see if you can fully drop your weight. And each time you arrive, just notice if you feel even just the subtlest opening. Then when you're ready, you're going to bring your fingertips either onto the floor or your block, wherever you are. You're going to take an inhale, rise, lifting the chest forward into your flat back. So crown of the head goes forward, tailbone goes back. And then exhale, fold once more. Then on your next inhale, you're going to begin to sink your hips down. We're going to raise our arms and we come into our chair pose. Sink your hips down and just see if you can bend into the knees, but so that you can still see the toes. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Maybe take your eye gaze up towards your hands. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Feel any intensity through the legs. And then as you exhale, fold all the way down into your forward fold. Then from here, take an inhale. You're going to plant your hands onto the mat and you're going to step back and you're going to find your downward facing dog. So once again, focusing on our inverted V shape. If you need to bend into the knees, you do so. Ground down through the hands. Draw the chest towards the thighs as you push the earth away from you through the hands and the feet. Then nice and slow, drop the knees down. If your block is in the way, just remove it. And you're just going to lower all the way down now onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip distance and then bring your elbows forward, forearms down. So we refer to this pose as Sphinx pose. Make sure that your hands are spread nice and wide. Your fingertips are spread nice and wide. I want you to, so this is a gentle back bend, and I want you to be able to, focusing on opening out through the heart. If you find any compression through the lower back, take that as a sign to back off. if you feel compression, see maybe if moving your elbows forward will help. Otherwise, I want you to push into the tops of your feet, magnetize your ankles towards each other, push your pelvis down, and then as you inhale, see if you can pull your hands towards your heart as you just find a slight rebound of your heart as it draws forward. Once again, feel that nice, steady, even breath, feeling the activation of the back body and the legs. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Then tuck your toes, bring your hands by your chest, and then push back into a child's pose. Draw your hips towards your heels, untuck your toes, and bring your forehead down onto the mat. Once again, release your weight and really submit to gravity. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and side release. Then from here, come back into your tabletop position. Just to transition, we're going to come down onto our sit bones. Bring the soles of the feet forward. Take an inhale, extend your arms up, and then as you exhale, draw your chin towards your chest. And slowly, slowly allow yourself to roll all the way down onto your spine. When you arrive, walk the soles of your feet towards your sit bones so that you can tickle the soles of your feet, or the heels of your feet, sorry, with your fingertips. Make sure that your feet are about hip width apart. We're just going to stretch a little bit into the back of the legs, so ground down through the right foot and then take an inhale, reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. So the option is you can bring your hands behind the back of your leg, wherever feels good for you. So the higher you go, up closer towards the foot, the deeper the stretch. Maybe it's just on the back of the hamstring. Just find what works for you, and then just see if you can take a couple of pulses. So pulling in, then releasing, pulling in, then releasing. Then from here, flex your left foot, cross your left ankle just underneath your right knee. So we come into this figure 4 position. I want you to draw your left knee away from you. If you feel that this is a good stretch in your hip, you stay here. If not, I want you to begin to lift your right foot up and then maybe reach your arms through your legs to grab onto the back of your right hamstring. Once again, focus on drawing the left knee away, but at the same time, draw your right knee in towards you. Both of your feet are flexed or engaged. Then nice and slow, right foot comes down. Take the left leg up, plant the sole of the foot. We move to the other side, so draw the right leg up. Wrap your hands onto your leg wherever feels good. Just flex the right foot, so make the leg engaged, and then just find a few pulses. So pull in to the degree that works for you, then release. Pull in, release. Pull in, release. Pull in, release. With the foot still flexed, cross the right ankle underneath the left knee, finding your figure 4 shape. So option 1 is to keep the left foot on the floor with the right knee drawing down and away, or you begin to extend the left leg up, draw your arms through and just wrap your arm around your left leg. Keep squeezing in. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, just see if you can draw the leg in just a little bit deeper. And slowly, slowly release the left leg, release the right leg. And then from here, draw both of your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, and then take your forehead towards your knees. Squeeze yourself into a really nice little ball, squeezing as if you're trying to wring out a sponge. Keep squeezing, 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 squeezing. And then as you exhale, slowly release. extend your arms out, extend your legs out. Allow yourself to come out into our last and final resting pose, our Shavasana. So if you need to, you can windshield wiper your feet from side to side to release the lower back. Really take up as much space as you need. Then take a nice long inhale through the nose and a deep audible exhale through the mouth. Imagining that you're like a little ice cube melting in the sun and you feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the earth. Know in this moment right now that you are fully supported by the earth, and that while we're here in this last resting place, that this is time for introspection and a time that we can really integrate any sort of energy or information that we brought up through our physical and moving practice. So once again, coming back to the concept of allowing yourself to be open and compassion to the full presence of who you are in this very moment. So as you continue to lay here, just find a softness through the breath. There's no need to control the breath. But just feel the ebb and flow of the chest as it rises and falls. Then when you're ready, take a nice long inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh to release. Bring some gentle movements back through your fingers and your toes. Just taking your time to move. Then as you inhale, reach your arms over your head and stretch your hands away from your feet. As you exhale, drop all of your weight towards the earth. Then slowly draw your knees in towards your chest. Allow yourself to be rolled onto your side. And then slowly make your way up into a seated position at the top of your mat. Just with your eyes remaining closed, or you can soften your gaze, just bring your hands in front of your heart. Just really push your hands into each other and just begin to feel a little bit of activation and heat. Really breathe into the hands. So just simply we'll end this class with one last breath cycle. So take a nice long inhale through your nose and open your mouth and sigh to release. Bow your head down towards your hands and just give reverence and thanks for your body, for your mind, for your soul, to committing and showing up for your practice. It takes a lot of inner work and to some degree a lot of commitment to show up every day on your mat, even just in simple ways. So it's a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate the work that you've done for yourself today. So in saying that, I hope you really enjoyed this class. If you do, please let me know down in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you have a really beautiful and wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.